Hey y'all, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to check out another one of my videos. And in today's video, I am so excited to be sharing with you my #1 favorite from 2022. Out of all the palettes that I tried, this is the palette that impressed me the most. I already shared my top 20 palettes, but in that video I actually stopped at the number 6 palette because for 5, 4, 3, and 2, I've been sharing with you guys a video every day and doing a look with the palettes because they've been such a favorite of mine throughout the year. I want to do one more look before the year is out. So that's what I've been doing, and today is a final look because it's palette #1. So the final time that I'm going to go back to a palette I tried in 2022 and do a look with it and just talk to you guys a little bit about the palette. And I'm super excited for this one because it didn't get enough spotlight, enough time, and enough looks on my channel, so I'm really excited to be able to use it again. But my #1 palette from the year 2022 has got to be the Cosmic Beauty Serenity palette. Oh, my kitty is climbing up on my lap now. The Cosmic Beauty Serenity palette, this palette is just such a beautiful palette. Its color story is stunning, the formula is amazing, the colors that pop are so fun, the shimmers are great, the mattes are great, and my kitty is so lovable. I have 2 kitties, but I feel like she's the only one that ever makes an appearance because the other one is not quite as lovable as her. Like, she's super sweet, but she doesn't like to be held, and she doesn't like to get all up in your face as much as this one. Oh yes, and also I'm gonna have dirty hands. I just finished painting the last area of my house last night, and yes, I could have sat and taken the time to take it off before recording, but also I have like 20 minutes left before my kids are waking up. I didn't want to waste the time, so I'm sorry, I'm gonna have some dirty hands in this video. But anyway, yes, the Cosmic Beauty Serenity palette impressed me so much. This was my first time trying the brand, and oh my goodness, the quality of the mattes and shimmers are stunning. And as I said, this color story is just gorgeous. Like, such beautiful, jaw-dropping type of looks is what I was getting with this palette. So I'm super excited to be diving back into it. Let's go ahead and get up close and do something fun on my eyes with this palette one last time to kind of celebrate it winning the #1 spot. Out of all the palettes, I think it was like around 50 palettes that I tried, out of all those palettes from 2022, it's won the #1 spot. Okay, so I just used the Smashbox eyeshadow primer and then the ABH eyeshadow primer just to double up and get a nice smooth even base. And now is the time to decide where I'm going with this palette. I've done a purple blue look with this palette, and then I've done a more like grungy inner corner, and then I think a green outer corner, and then of course I've done other looks, but those are the 2 looks I did on camera. So today I want to use, try to use a pop of something different and just have a little bit of fun with this type of look. I really am tempted to go to the greens, but I also want to incorporate this look. And honestly, I also want to use this shade here because I feel like I didn't give this shade enough love back when I first tried it. It's such a beautiful pop of like really intense pastel blue. But like I said, I also, the kittens are running around, I also want to try Oasis really, really bad. I want to put that in somewhere. I think what we're going to do is I'm going to keep this on the inner corner, kind of inner crease area, and then we could deepen up with the blue if we want. And I'm going to focus this on the outer edge area because I feel like that's something that we really haven't done, is having this kind of shine on my outer corner, at least not that I remember. So for my deepest part of my outer corner, I think I'm just going to go with black, and then I might take a little bit of this blue. Before I transition to this, I feel like that'll help it transition. I think that's how the color wheel works. We're gonna do that, and then as I said, I'm gonna pop this bright blue in my inner corner. Okay, so I just consulted the color wheel, and it's more so, if I want to get to that shade, it's not really blue, it's more of a green that goes from the yellow to that orange. So with that in mind, I might go with the black and then take this green transition between here if I need something to soften it out. And honestly, I could just do with this dark green out there. I think I've used the black before in my one of my videos, so let's go ahead and just use that deep dark green, which I might have used that too. I don't know. Let's just use the dark green and see what happens. Alright, dipping into Forest. Let's put this down. Oop, wrong way with my mirror. I did get my high mirror back. I think in a video, oh shoot, I forgot to knock it off. They're very pigmented. No! Dadgummit, I just knock it off. That's all you gotta do. Knock it off, Katie. Why can't you remember that? Anyway, I'll fix it later. I'm just gonna have to put more concealer down. I'm pretty sure in my last video with this palette, I did the same thing with the black and it doesn't come off. So definitely my recommendation with this palette is just do your makeup first because they're so pigmented. Just dropping it there, unless you have like a little airbrush to blow it, it's gonna stain. Anyway, I mentioned in a video, I can't even remember, a little while ago that I had to send my high mirror, or not high mirror, my Simple Human mirror back to be worked on because it just stopped working. And I was just gonna update you guys that they were gonna send a replacement, but they were actually all out of stock, so they gave me merchandise credit to their website for it, for whatever it came back in stock, or if I wanted to upgrade and get the bigger one, I could do that and just use the merchandise credit to, you know, help with the difference type of thing, or I pay the difference type of thing. So anyway, I ended up just waiting and getting the same size because I really do like it, and I like that you can just automatically turn it. The new bigger one, you have to like click a button to rotate rotate the different sides of the mirror, and I was like, well, what if that breaks, or what if it goes too slow? And I feel like I'm always turning it back and forth, so I just kept this one, kept the same size, and when it came back in stock, then I picked it up. Okay, so now I'm going to go into Oasis, that fun pop of coral, not really an orange, it's more just a coral, and I'm going to put this here, and then if I need it, I'm going to take the green, as I was saying, to make it stand out. But I really want to make this nice and bright. I don't want it to kind of mess and like mesh with the green to make an in-between color. I really want this to stand out on its own 2 feet, because I feel like when I was using this before with the palette, it was to kind of blend into other shades, so it kind of like grungified it with the looks that I was doing, and I want this to stay nice and bright like that. So anyway, finally the mirror came back in stock, so I placed the order and I have it back, and I'm so happy to have it back. It's a really nice mirror. It's an expensive mirror, oh my goodness. Do I think you need it? No, but definitely once you have it, it's like, it's nice. Hard to go back to an ordinary mirror. With the mirror I had while this was getting worked on was a mirror with no lights, which is, I mean, not terrible because I do have all of these lights set up, so it's not like I was in the dark in comparison, but it's just a really nice bright light, and I just like how clear the magnification is. It's just all around a lovely mirror, very nice and sleek, and I do like it, so I figured I'd update you guys on that. Okay, so on this side I feel like I meshed it a little too much because it's starting to, again, kind of brown it out. I don't want to really go too brown. I want it to stay nice and bright and green, nice and bright in, what is this color? Coral? I say coral in my head. It's not really an orange, in my opinion. I'm going to take this up a little bit more. This palette is so nice, and it's a palette that, like I said, didn't get a whole lot of love on my palette, on my channel, because when I tried it, I forget where I was, but I think I just did one look, first impressions. And I think it was after this palette that I started doing at least 3 looks when I did first impressions like that. And so I only have 1 look, and then I also used it when I shared my birth story for Sophia. So I did 2 looks on my channel, but it's such a good palette. It needs more love. Okay, so now that I've tapped that, I think I'm going to go into the same brush. I'll clean it off a little bit, and I'm going to go to that brighter green like I was saying, which is Lagoon. We're going to try it out. I might have to go a little bit brighter, but I feel like it's like a bright kind of Christmassy green, so I'm thinking it's going to do what I want it to do. We're going to go right here on top of this dark green and just tap it in. And with this palette, I don't feel like you have to do tapping motions. I'm just kind of wanting a certain look, like I said, with the orange or the coral to stay really bright. So I'm wanting to do more tapping motions to blend out. Usually I would do more blending motions, and I never noticed a problem at all with blending, you know, already kind of skipping. But for this look, I'm going to do a little bit more tapping motions because I have this idea in my head that I have no idea if it's actually going to work out, but I'm trying to see if I can get it to work out. So kind of like that. I feel like that's a pretty good transition. I feel like I'm missing what colors between these two, because I looked at the color wheel and there's not. It's like a yellow, so I guess that makes sense why it's not super seamless, but I feel like that's a pretty good transition. Okay, so I think this is what we're going to do. I feel like it's darkening that color just a little bit. I guess I should have gone more like the purple side of things if I want to keep this bright, because the green is kind of grungifying it. So I'm going to work on this a touch more. I hear my kids waking up. Let me go check on them, and then we'll continue on to the crease. Okay, now I'm going to go into that Echo, and I'm popping this all in here. I already did it to the other side because I had to pause for a bit, so I just did it before I pressed record, but this side is super, super pretty. You can get a really gorgeous, like, all pastel look. You're going to hear my kids now. My younger, or my middle two, I guess, not younger two now, but my middle two are awake. Look how gorgeous. Such a beautiful shade, very easy. Like I said, you can get a really pretty pastel blue and purple look with these, because you got 2 really good purple and blue pastels. I'm going to take a tinier brush, and I'm dipping just a touch into River, which is like a pretty dark blue, but not the darkest blue. And I'm taking this really lightly right in here, just like that. Just to give a little bit of definition and like depth right in here before I put my shimmers on. So this is pretty much the crease work. Don't know if it was my best decision. I always try to like, I'm so excited for these end of the year videos, and then when I get into a palette, I'm like, let me do something I haven't done, and so I try to be like super creative. I don't want to repeat a look I've done, because I've definitely done some like amazing favorite looks with this palette. So I'm trying to be creative, and I feel like I always land on the one that's like the most questionable for these type of end of the year videos. I'm so sorry. Okay, and then I'm going to take this tiny brush I did the greens. Again, I'm brushing it off just a touch. I'm going to go into Sorbet. I did this a touch on the other side, just a touch. I don't even know if it makes a difference, but I feel like it's getting really grungy right in here between the two, like almost brown. So I'm tapping this right into that line to try to bring back just a little bit of brightness so we don't get too dark and grungy. No idea if this is doing anything once you really blend it in, but I feel like it did a little bit on that side. I don't know. We're gonna do it though. This is this shade Sorbet, is it? Yeah, Sorbet. One of my favorite shades. If you want like a really amazing all green look that has a very bright kind of outer halo of green around the whole look, this green will give it to you. It's so beautiful, so pigmented. And then I'll go back into Oasis, and then I'm going to tap that on top of that, or like blend it, I guess, brush it. At least you can see with this tutorial that like they don't, like they blend on top of each other, or they go on top of each other really well. A lot of times with some formulas, if you try to take too many, they just won't stick or won't show up. And I feel like each color I put down, yes, I might be making it muddy from my own choices, but they still layer on, like they still show up. Hey kitty, she's playing with the carpet. Anyway, let's go on to the literally she's fighting with the corner of the carpet. I don't even know what she's trying to get over there. I'm gonna put a little bit of glitter primer on. I got like a chunk of something right there. I think it's just a chunk of dried glitter primer. Can't get it off, but my youngest is now starting to wake up, so I gotta hurry. Alright, so what I think I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go into this green, and then I feel like I've done this before, and then go into this on top of it to make it pop. Oh, do I want to do that? I feel like I shouldn't, because again, I think I've done that. I know I've done it with a green look. I can't remember if it was on video. I should stop stressing over making sure it's different. I'm going to go into this shade. This shade is really pretty. It's called Serenity after the palette. And then I think I will go ahead and still top this on top of it for the inner corner pop. So let's do that and see what that looks like. This shade is super pretty. The formula of their shimmers is also really nice. I'm going to pop it right in here. This will kind of tie the inner corner together because it's a more blue shade. The shimmer formula, I think I was saying, is really smooth, easy to pick up with a flat brush, and has so much shine to it and like little bits of sparkle. It's not like different color sparkles, but it's definitely very sparkly in that when you turn your head and, you know, as you're passing a mirror, you can definitely see all the gorgeousness of this shadow just really standing out. It's super pretty. So I'm going to do that, and then switch to a even flatter, stiffer brush, go into, what is this, Opal? This shade is like, I don't think it's multi-chrome, but it's definitely like a duochrome, in that depending on what you put it on, like mesh with it, different shades of it can stand out. It can be like super yellow or really green, or in this case it's going to look more blue because of the colors I'm putting it with. So beautiful. Look at that. Just one dip and boom, it's so intense and pigmented. I have to now work to like mesh it in, because I was kind of wondering, because sometimes when you do these type of iridescent shimmers you put on top, it takes a lot of work to build it up to notice it and make it like apparent that you put another shade and didn't just put, you know, more brightness or sparkle there. But I think you could definitely see that. Look how bright it is. It is stunning. Oh, so beautiful. So yeah, one dip in there is all I needed. I'm going to go back into Serenity now and just work to mesh these two together. As you can see, I stopped working on this eye. I'm gonna go ahead and finish up this eye on camera with you, and then I'm gonna have to go get my little one, and I'll finish this eye and fix my face off camera while I'm nursing her. But anyway, yeah, that's gotta be my favorite shade in the palette just because it's so stunning. Alright, I'm gonna go in with Lagoon for my lower lash line. I'm gonna put it right in here. I guess we could have gone with the deepest one, but I was just trying something different. And then I want to take that, my favorite green, matte green in here. I'm going to take it and blend that in to get a really bright under eye. So let me take a little brush. This one that I used the blue, I'm going to clean it off, and then we're going to go into that gorgeous, gorgeous green Sorbet. That shade right there, so pretty. And I got a hair on this one. I'm just going to take it and top it right over it. I typically like to tilt my head down a lot, but I feel like I'm always like disappearing off camera for you guys, so I'm trying to like tip but stay on frame here. But I'm gonna just load this up all down here and then feather it out. If I had to pick one matte in here as a favorite, it would be Sorbet. Look at that, so pretty. And when I do concealer, I'm gonna clean this up because I got a little messy out there, and I'll go ahead and put on a wing as well. Oh, so beautiful. Took no time as well. Like, look how quickly these are blending and meshing. That's why it's getting #1 from this year. I can't get over it. Okay, so for the inner corner, let me see if this purple, I'm gonna do this purple. Just use something different. This is called Ether. Very pretty. It has a little bit of depth in it, but I think it's bright enough that it won't darken it too much, and it'll give like a pop to the inner corner, which there isn't really any purple in here, so that'll be a fun pop of something different. Yeah, a touch darker than I feel like I tend to gravitate and put in my inner corner, but I don't think it's like so bad that it's gonna darken my inner corner. It's just a pop of something different. Oh, I'm really enjoying how this turned out. I still wish I could have gotten the that coral a little bit brighter, but I think just pairing it with the green it just deepened it up a little too much. This is going to be the look. I'm going to put on a wing liner, catch up this eye, and then we can meet back here for the final look, and of course I'll take close-ups and all that, so be right back. Alright, so here we are for the final look. As you can see, I had a little bit extra time, and I did some graphic liner work because the baby fell back asleep. As I was finishing up with you guys, turned it off, she just fell back asleep. She's still out, so thankfully I was able to finish my makeup, fixed up that spot that I got dirty there on my cheek and whatnot, and this is the finished look. I'll stick up close-ups as always. I took this look a little higher than I feel like I like to, because like literally that orange or coral shade is like literally in my brows, but my fault there. I have a bad habit of not containing my looks. But anyway, final look, I really do like it. I love that pop on the inner corner with that really bright kind of seafoam type of blue. So beautiful, very nice. And then the lid colors that I chose, oh my goodness, like I said, that shimmer is my favorite. I love how in this look it really does just stand out as blue, and the other looks that I incorporated into, as I said, one of them leaned very yellow, one of them leaned very green. It is so pretty, such a gorgeous inner corner highlight. Like I said, my favorite shimmer in this palette. It's gorgeous. And then the lower lash line is smoking out with that very bright sorbet green color. Love it. That's my favorite matte, and I'm just so excited that I got to use it again. As I said, maybe not my best choice of colors to really make the palette stand out, but I think my favorite look I ever did was actually the one where I used this palette as I shared at my birth story. So if you haven't seen that video and you want to see another look, like I said, I think it's my favorite look. Well, I did an all green look that really was popping too. Those two are my favorite, but if you want to see that look with the birth story, I'll leave it linked down below, because as I said, I focus on the blues and purples in this palette. Stunning. So I got a couple options of, you know, eye looks to see with this palette on my channel. But yeah, I'm just excited to get to play with it one more time, and as I said, the #1 palette out of all the palettes that I tried in 2022, the Serenity by Cosmic Brushes gets the #1 spot, just from the quality, from the color story, from the quality of both the shimmers and mattes. Love them both, which is awesome when that happens in a palette. Love them both, and then the color story is just so very pretty, and overall just a very high quality palette. So yeah, I think that's gonna do it for my video. Look who came to say hi to me. This one's the one you don't really see. We call this one Whiskers. Our kids named the kittens. But yeah, this is the other one. But yeah, that is going to do it for today's video. Thank you guys so very much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this countdown of the top 20 palettes from 2022. I always enjoy getting to do these videos and look forward to them every year. And yeah, with all that said, I think this might be my last video of 2022. So crazy that the year is out, but I'm very happy looking back at 2022, all that I accomplished both on my channel and in my personal life. And then looking forward to 2023, very excited where things are going, both in my personal life and here on YouTube. I've really been excited with the type of content I've been putting out. So with all that said, that is going to do it for me. Thank you guys so very much for watching, and I'll see you guys very soon in my next video, probably in the new year. Bye guys.